Here we go. Time for another sprint zone. And this one is for 6/23/2026. Nice lively crew. Some OG out here. Some new riders. We got Susan up there in the blue OG from way, way, way back. Got Ryan Richburg up there. Got Marcelo. And it's a nice crew. Everyone looking pretty lively, 2x2. This is what I like to see as we prepare to go into the sprint zone. And I'm pretty happy here. It's a nice size group. The group was getting kind of big, there, but I'm really happy to see that there are competing groups out there. I hear there's a Tailwinds group, not to mention TTH, and a bunch of other buddy groups that are happening. I know the Fort Collins Cycling Club has their Tuesday ride. And it's good to see that there is a smorgasbord of different rides to choose from. And here we go, into the melee, and life is good. And before I get started, I would like to thank Curtis, Jim, and Enrique for their telemetry. We've got the 30-second versus 5-minute up top, and then the instantaneous versus 30-second below, along with their heart rates, at least for those who have heart rates, coming through. And you could see the battling already for position. No one wanting to do a lot of work. Enrique fading back, talking to Wolfgang. Got Jimmy there in the yellow representing the breakaway team. He was allowed to come out today to play. He will be racing the upcoming, which is past now, Steamboat gravel race. And his esteemed coach, Gail Bernhard, has so kindly allowed him to come out and play with us today. But I digress. Up front, looks like we got Marcelo tapping out a nice rhythm. And you can see my instantaneous power as well as 30-second power in the 250. So the party has gotten started early, and this is what I like to see. Like, I don't want to be the only person out there like getting it done, forcing things, but this is good. This will keep people honest. And it looks like we have new rider Gwen behind him. Not certain where she came from, but she's riding really strong. Nice mellow kit there. That nice green, understated, no team colors or anything. So she is definitely flying under the radar. Nice shot of Jimmy there, looking good, getting his breakaway screen time. Tapping out a nice rhythm. And Jimmy has quite the calendar of races this year. He has already done Unbound. By this time, this is done Steamboat, and then upcoming the Leadville 100 mountain bike. So he's looking to use this to help tune up. Anyway, Marcelo pulls off. Job well done. Got that nice arrow helmet, and it looks like Gwen has taken over up front. I'm not even certain if anybody explained to her the sprint zone rules or whatever, but she has like no problem doing the work up front. And you can see that there's no effort there. Like I like to observe riders and see if they're struggling or not. And her cadence is just so smooth. It's just, yeah, you can see that she is seasoned and not under any pressure. Ryan taking over, looking strong here. Haven't seen him in a while, wearing the black. No colors there, but he's tapping out a good rhythm. And no one is looking to attack this just yet. And I'm happy. I'm happy to be sitting in here, not having done much work, looking at my 30-second power, only 160. So pretty much right now, this is pretty much a walk in the park. But knowing that those behind me, those sitting in, are actually getting a much better draft. And that'll have to be looked at for later on, for when it's go time. Jimmy sitting in good position, and you can see he's just ready to go. You can see he's just chomping at the bit. There's no telegraphing anything about his posture. He is just chomping at the bit and ready to go, and no one wants to jump on this. I thought about it for 2.3 milliseconds, which is an eternity for an Android, but no, I'm not going to chase. But I'm going to keep him in check here, because it's time for Ryan to pull over, and I have no problem out here. Having a good time, and Enrique looking to take over. And look at the flapping of his kit there. Uncharacteristic of the stronger riders. There's wattage being bled off there. So Enrique, do something about that. I'm going to guess 10 to 15 watts. Daniel on his wheel. So the strong men, the heads of state, have already began to show themselves along with Gwen. Impressive. Looks like is that Mike Weta up there, followed by looks like Curtis, Wolfgang, Danny coming through as I fade back. You can see my 30-second power was above 350 there. Heart rate 167 for me, so I'm working hard, not quite at the limit, but pretty close to it. Sitting in nicely, Jimmy has been swallowed up, and he's going to keep contact with those that are trying to make things happen, trying to make a selection, and this is what we like to see. I like to see a selection early and people working together, no one afraid to just put it out there, and this is a good thing. And here goes Curtis. So Curtis goes hard. You can see this. There was 600 watts when he accelerated, and the only one paying attention there or cared was Danny. So Danny is going after him while others see this is a dangerous move. We cannot let Curtis go off the front with any kind of assistance. Now we've got big engines back here. We got Jimmy. We got Wolfgang. We've got Ryan, Daniel, Enrique. So we are not concerned about Curtis going off the front. And even if Danny joins him, and which Danny does, you can see those two just off the front, dangling off the front. We're not concerned yet because the big horsepower remains back here. The heads of state are here. And it's been a while since Curtis has been out and testing his metal, but looking at his power, 30-second 350, currently putting 500 watts out up front. So you know he is all in this one. And I am comfortable at this point. Heart rate 165, putting out, looks like 300 and some watts. And here's a little inflection point here. This little grade will separate people. And if Curtis were to get enough of a gap over this grade where people are, if they were just hanging on, or were not able to contribute, it could be game over. But everyone in this group is strong, surprisingly so. I mean, over the years, and if you compare this group with previous years' TFR, there are strong men here, despite the lack of supers. In any case, everybody contributing, no one shirking their duty at the front, except for maybe Mike there in the TFR kit. But he's riding strong to be with the heads of state. Jimmy looking strong there. And you can see Jimmy's 30-second power dropping down to 140, so you know he's recovered nicely. Heart rate's right 152. Curtis still dangling out there. And you can see his wattage beginning to drop a little bit as maybe Danny has given him a little bit of respite. But that's going to be too little too late because the big men are coming and the big women are coming. The heads of state indeed are coming, and he will be brought back. But this is nice. I like to see this, and this is good race practice. Looks like that might be, and looks like Jimmy's going to go again to try to help everybody out. And you can see Jimmy go to the front, not with an attack so much, or maybe this is an attack. Yeah. Gets a little bit of a gap here, forcing the group to string out. Maybe the work wasn't hard enough for him. But indeed, he's going for it. Good shot of Gwen there. Looks like Don from the Rio team. That kit fits really nicely. Looking strong. Yeah. And pretty much this selection are the heads of state. And Mike back there. No disrespect, but Mike ain't done any work. And plus, you don't watch these videos. And self-admitted, so I'll just talk about you. And maybe in the future, you know, when you're in your rocking chair and you're going through these, you'll be like, oh, okay. So it looks like Wolfgang putting it out there up front. Probably should have gotten his telemetry too, but that would have been quite a full screen. And of course, notably, the Ron cam is not here. And here we go. People, when they see there's a chance to pounce, not to help the group, but to help themselves. And this is what we see. Thank you for your service, Wolfgang, as he is jettisoned, just like the third stage of the Saturn V rocket. Gone. And that's kind of unfortunate. We could have used his horsepower, but here we go, bringing people in. It looks like Daniel fading off the back too, and that is surprising. Very surprising. He is a Thor rider and sometimes TTH rider, so maybe the toll of the week has taken its toll on him, and he is unable to stay in contact. Everyone going hard here. Ryan in front looking good. Gwen looking strong. Marcelo looking good. Curtis back in the fold looking strong up there. Danny still managing to hang on out there. And it looks like there's a little bit of a gap in front of us. I believe that's probably like Enrique out there and maybe Curtis going for it. And the rest of the group is unable to bring him back. And this is where Jimmy is doing a lot of work here. You can look at Enrique and Curtis's power. You can see they're going for it. And I'm thinking to myself right here with my heart rate only 165, I should go up and help Jimmy. There are strong men back here, and no one is going up there to help Jimmy. I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, I'm kind of waiting, because I'm kind of far back to go there. And I know everybody in this group is at least as strong as I am. So there's no need for any heroics. But there will come a point in time when I cannot wait, because my heart rate is just going down. And here we go. Taking a look on the outside, Jimmy still out front, pushing good wattage. His 30-second power looks like 235. And there you have the opportunists. It looks like Marcelo, no, maybe he was just trying to maintain contact standing up there. And Jimmy, no one's giving him help. And here we go. It looks like there goes Ryan. And Ryan's going to make the tack not to help people. And there goes Don, not to help people, but to help themselves. They use Jimmy like an old rag. Strong men using people. Strong men using strong men. And I'm like, hey, Jimmy, jump on. I probably could have gone with them, but I'm thinking to myself, okay, I want to help out my posse. I want to help out Jimmy. So here we go. I've got a bunch of people in tow. I was thinking Jimmy might have grabbed a little earlier spot, but this allows him to sag bag and get even more draft. Here we go. Curtis brought back ignominiously as his bid for the title did not work, and we are still bringing people back. My 30-second power, 368, instantaneous power, 354 as I hold that power above 300 to bring in the last of the recalcitrants to cement a top 5 here. It looks like, yep, there looks like Enrique brought back at the top. There goes Don. A good time was had by all. Mike, nice job. Gwen, nice job. Marcelo, nice job there. Everyone who made this happen, that was sweet. I enjoyed that one. A good time indeed was had by all. It doesn't get much better than that. Attacks, people going for it, going cowboy, people working together. This is how the sprint zone should work. Well done. All right. Here we go. Moving on here into the second sprint zone. Had a little bit of recovery. At some point, I want to talk about some of the behavior that happened on the way back. One rider was on the other side of the road, crossed the yellow line, trying to get back in, and there were cars trying to pass us at that point. No. And I might make a separate video on that one. In any case, we've got a couple of riders off the front here. The rules of engagement, as we know, the group must be together before the contest can start, because that's just the way it goes. This car's being extremely nice, letting us come through, and we're off. Colorful looking group today, and I like the colors. You know, the bright yellow, the blues, the reds. I just love it. Kind of missing the Ron cam there because his video is a little bit better, but you know, it is what it is. You are missed, Ron. I know Ron is out doing home projects, framing some windows or something like that. You know, keeping his wife Linda, ex-OG TFR rider. I guess they both are from the old days, out for a while. In any case, here we go. Everybody seems like they're pretty rich recovered. 5-minute power. Mine's like 56. We got Curtis is at 61. Everybody in the double digits here as things are beginning to hot up just a little bit. Got Rob there right in front of me. And I think at some point I said, Rob, like, what are you doing? Because Rob had a momentary lapse of attention and was letting the group go. Either that was tactical and he was expecting people to come around him. But it's like, no, heads up. You know, if you're going to ride above your station, you got to at least own it. You got to play the part. Or just pull off to the left and let everybody come through, wiggle the elbow, let them know that you're no longer in the game, and let the others commence. So there's a little group off the front. It looks like Marcelo working hard. Gwen on his wheel. Looking strong. That might be Dean out there looking good. Trying to bring those people back. Wolfgang coming up the right side on that opulent Cervello. Little shot of Susan there in the blue. And we got Mike, yeah. or Michael, I should say, and then it looks like Daniel, and now it's game on. The heads of state have been caught. And here we go. It looks like Elisa up there riding strong after her accident. Most impressive recovery because this ride is not easy. People are riding hard. Look at the speed. They're 28 miles per hour there. My heart rate 160, so I'm pretty comfortable at this point. Looks like everybody else is too for the most part. No one has done anything. People looking back. Wolfgang looking to do some work. Dean coming off as his work is done. And everybody else kind of like bunched up, and there's the signal from Wolfgang to get on his hip, and I oblige. I'm happy to be there, happy to be number 2, although it is work up there. I mean, Wolfgang provides a really good draft being the big man, but still being number 2 is not the same as like being like number 8 or whatever. And you could see people not quite strung out back there. There's a little bit of an echelon. Looks like that might be Dean sheltering some people in a semi-second echelon back there. But if people don't come up quickly, it could be game over. My 30-second power, 250, and here we go. It looks like those who were leeward, looks like Enrique coming up. And you can see the amount of power he's throwing down, 400 watts. And I should say, he sent me his power data. I took a look at his power curve on the sprint that I didn't show up. Kechter, over 1,000 watts on that one. That's right. I just outed you, Enrique. You are, in fact, the big engine. And here we go. Throwing it down. You got Curtis on Enrique putting down the big watts as they go for the attack. Danny looking good up there. So you have a bunch of team members going for it. And I'm just sitting out there into the wind. 30-second power was 389. My instantaneous power. I'm still pushing over 400 watts for a little while there. And still not able to stay with the leaders. Good shot of Tom there in the Rio kit, looking good. Like the new Rio kit for this year. Looks sharp. Marcelo looks like dancing on the pedals, trying to stay in contact. Dunn coming through later on. And at this point, I've kind of like shut it down, if you want to call 200 watts shutting it down. Just trying to stay in contact. This was a fun one. Nice work by everybody. I wish I had the Ron cam up there to see who actually got it, but you can see, I'm guessing it's either Enrique or Curtis, way, way, way up there. Probably need to pay them to like carry a camera, but I know they both make good money. They should just buy cameras and send me some footage. That would be good. Got this nice car waiting behind me as we come up to the stoplight here. Everyone's kind of like together up there, and I've definitely shut it down. Heart rate 161. Good times. So let's kind of move on through here. Some cars nicely waited for us at the stop sign. Here we wait for everybody. I rendered a lot of this. At some point I should do a ride-along video. I think this video could be 40 minutes, but I'd kind of skip through it because the rendering's easy with the power, yada, yada. Coming to the stop sign. And, of course, there's a detour because of road construction. And so this next sprint isn't going to happen until like halfway through. So there's this good shot of the neighborhood, James Stevens neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood, Wild Wing, very nice place to live. Anybody looking to move to Fort Collins or don't want to move to Fort Collins, want to move to Tenmouth or whatever, this is a great neighborhood out here. Close enough to the foothills, but you got nice spacious yards, wide streets, it's clean, and you don't have all the traffic. But I digress. Okay, moving through here, more neighborhood shots. Nice stuff here. Got a little bit of the bike path as we're coming through. I think Enrique was leading us through here. I think Curtis had another way to get through this where we had less bike path. I think coming through this last look at the neighborhood. Yeah, come out through here, I believe. There should be a bike path coming through. But it's a nice path. And we are on to, we can see the Ptarmigan ahead. And here we are on the Ptarmigan. Everybody makes it around, and it is go time. I must say, this isn't my favorite sprint zone. Initially, it wasn't a sprint zone, but the masses said, let's make it a sprint zone. It used to be a tempo zone where we just work on, pace line, rotating stuff, echelons, just good tactics as far as like learning how to work well together. But it's become a sprint zone, and it's been shortened today because, well, road construction. In any case, 20 miles an hour. My heart rate's 142, like the wattage, 30 second, like 120. Nothing's really happening yet. but at least people are on the correct side of the white line, more or less. People falling back, and looks like that kind of surprised me that Dean pulled off like that. I didn't see the hand raise or whatever, enough shouting, but it's a good thing we weren't going faster. In any case, a little bit of a gap here. That looks like Elisa's there. She's gonna wave people through. She doesn't want to pull those people through. There's Ryan, and I'm gonna like get on his wheel and go reel in. It looks like Jimmy up there in the bright yellow. Yep, that's what's happening. Rearward, it looks like everybody's ahead. Looks like Elisa maybe has had enough for today, It looks like somebody way back. Looks like Rob got caught sleeping there, and it looks like he has been dispatched. But such a strong group today, such a very powerful group. No one really riding too far above their station for the most part. Things are looking not so bad here, 22 miles an hour. We haven't quite hit the inflection point where the melee is really going to start, but there are gaps beginning to open up here, and I got to make certain that they are closed, and it looks like we are almost there, but nope, there's a group off the front. There's a group up there, and we have let them go. And so pretty much, if that has happened, it's going to be like game over. But there are strongmen back here. We got Jimmy back here, Enrique back here, Ryan back here. So there's a good chance that we could bring these people back. And, I am not invested in sprinting on this one. I just want to have a good workout. And we're going to get that. So it looks like Curtis up front, Susan on his wheel. Looks like Jimmy on her wheel. And I kept thinking, like, is Curtis, like, pulling over a little bit to let the next person through? But Susan's definitely not going to come through. And everyone is like, well, we'll just sit behind Curtis because life is good. I'm thinking to myself, my heart rate's 154. I am super comfortable at this point, thinking that, I need to be working a little harder here. And if, in fact, I was right behind Curtis, I definitely would have given him some relief there. Anyway, Ryan's turn. Ryan, I'm sort of feeling the same as I am, being the bigger engine, and he's going to go up and help people out. I'm surprised that, and who is in there up there? Oh, it's Enrique, another strong man who could be helping out. So now it looks like the stronger men are taking up the chase. Curtis, well done there. Even though nobody helped you out, it looks like he's off for that one. And Ryan is drilling it up there. I was like, holy moly. We're doing 29 miles an hour. My 30-second power, 300. And Ryan is just like, it looks so comfortable up there. And Enrique is super comfortable. So we got two massive engines bringing these people back. And it looks like Jimmy let a little bit of a gap open up. So I need to come through here. Mike Wida doing a most excellent job of hanging on. He needs to get out there. And if he can hang on this well, get out there and do a little more work. And I can see that he must be doing some good training. I know his sons are really strong. So all that mountain biking, that crazy winter park, catching air, 20-foot jump stuff that I know he does, no doubt, keeping him extremely fit. It's like the whole Wizard of Oz thing. I know he believes he's not that strong. I just need to give him a certificate, and life will be good. Not actually conflating myself with being the Wizard of Oz, but, a reasonably enough metaphor. Most of the people like taking the sidewalk. I like the sidewalk, keeps the trouble away, but anytime you can do that, it's always good. In any case, a good time was had by all. Next time, party on.